Good evening, folks. Red County, Blue Nation, little town of Westcliff / Silvercliff, the mediocre-sized county of Custer, in the liberal-ass, blue-ass state of Colorado, in the great state of Americans. Stephen Rourke, Mike Boring on the controls, Jim McMahon over here. Good to see you again this evening, Jimmy. How are you, buddy?
We're doing good. A little wind blowing today. We've had absolutely stellar weather for a bit until the wind showed up.
It's miserable.
Good moisture, and then we had some pretty good temperatures, and then we had today.
That started yesterday.
Yeah, kind of started yesterday, but today was a real last night, and then I got a little pitted out here today.
I don't know what's happening to me, but I mean, I used to could take it pretty good, but boy, it just frays my nerves. I don't know. Maybe I just was young and dumb or whatever, or had to be out in it, but anymore, it's just like.
Well, and that's kind of the deal. It's when you have to get out in it. I remember the cold working up here every winter doing something, either concrete or plumbing or electrical or roofing. You just had to get above it and endure it, make it happen.
Yeah, mine was always feed cows and then load hay and then throw 8 or 10 cedar posts in that big old stove I had.
Yeah.
Light that whole ball of baling twine and
Break the chill.
never did throw no tires in there, but
Goodness, yeah. Yeah, no, I think all in all, got some stuff planted and started getting the drip irrigation installed. Did have a baby calf a couple days ago. He's up and running, doing good, so.
good.
Yeah. Can't really complain. Grass is greening up real nice. Hopefully, the water start running in the ditches and we'll get some water on the ground and maybe we'll get in a rain cycle because it don't look like there's much snow up there.
No, I'm concerned. Real concerned.
What'd you say the snow tell was?
0.
Yep.
Went from 18 inches on the South Colony pillow. That's what we call the device that measures all that. 2 or 3 days ago, it was already all melted off. And my little creek started running a couple days ago, but I mean, it's just barely coming out. It comes out up by the Horn Creek or Sky Ranch up in there. And I mean, it's just barely started up in there. So I have my sneaking suspicions that it'll never even make it. It's got to go about 1.5 miles down to, there's some rocky, cobbly.
Hopefully that's got somewhat saturated with some of the moisture, maybe to help a little bit to kind of skirt it down here. But
The problem is there's so many pine needles and leaves and branches and all that. And I normally go through and try to shovel that out, but I'd like to get enough water to help wash that trash down so you can break the dams out and it'll keep going down the way it is right now.
you need a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. Or
The big blower, the weed blower.
Hey, not a bad idea. Hey, see, somebody's thinking now. But the problem is I could do all that work and then never get anything.
Not even get a drop of water.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been planning this whole year that our creek won't even run. And that snow sure helped things, greened it up. But I've been doing this too long, man.
Yeah, when you got a good one coming when that snow tail's up around 70% or something.
Yeah, the snow tail should still be 80-90%.
Yeah.
It should still be cold enough that it's just now beginning to. I mean, the earliest I've ever seen it's like the 20th. Most of the time, a lot of times, it don't even start running until like 1st of June.
Well, there you go.
So I mean,
So we got a little bit of time. Hopefully it's all iced and dammed up in there and then to start breaking through.
there's so little up there that by the time we were looking good. It was 70s on Monday. Now it's down to 50s, and the wind's blowing 30, 40 mile an hour. it's not happening. Guy can wish in one hand and do what in the
Yeah,
other. And
exactly.
see which one fills
up
quicker.
first. Yeah, exactly.
Not the one for the creek.
No.
But I mean, it'll be what it'll be. I wish my hay crop was already as tall as I guess it's that raised bed or whatever, and the sun can hit it. I mean, it's up to my knees right out here. I got to get the weed eater and get that chomped down.
Oh yeah. Well, it's on the south side, and it's got a microwave there, so it doesn't really get that cold in the evening. It got a head
And
start.
the soil too, right? The soil's up.
Yeah, and it's raised up so it can get that. Yeah.
It's like, it's literally like damn near 18 inches tall.
Yeah. Looks good.
It's like,
Need to get a cow over here, or maybe a goat.
this is a goat-free zone.
This is a goat-free zone.
We ain't no goat ropers up in here, folks.
No goat roping going on here.
Ain't no sheep either. It's beef only.
Exactly.
Maybe a horse or two, but
Yeah.
we prefer like 400 or 500 in the hood is green.
Exactly.
But anyhow, well, yeah, so I guess I wanted to plug the Mortar Men again, folks. So it's the Mortar Men on Facebook. I sent the thing that we should have that posted on the website. Lists all the links. We got to have donations. I mean, that's just all there is to it. I want to express this again that, I mean, the responsibility and the liability that myself, Brian Clintz, and Josh Martin put on our own shoulders is most people would never do that. I mean, the liability literally, even though with insurance and the nonprofit and all of the stuff that we have in between, the liability with fireworks still goes back to, it doesn't matter. If something goes down, we are getting sued personally. And I'm going to do that for you folks. I'm putting my neck on the chopping block to show our dedication and our patriotism to this country and what we believe is right. And so, I just want everybody to know that it's a serious affair, and it's solely on donations. We donate what we can personally, but I mean, with the time involved, driving the post, putting the fence up, all the training, all of that stuff, and like I said, the pure liability, I mean, that's all I can afford to put into it.
Well, that's a huge service, because that is monumental, especially nowadays. We need as much patriotism as we can get our hands on it.
And
celebrating.
I've said this before, and the fact that the fire department won't take the liability, and so three individuals from the town will do it. I mean, that just lets you know right there that that's pretty serious. So we appreciate your support and your donations. The Mortar Men on Facebook. Not Mortar Men, but the Mortar Men. When you just go to Mortar Men, then you come to some military guys that are, actually doing military mortars and stuff.
Right.
But so the Mortar Men on Facebook. Appreciate it.
Yeah, huge. Big thank you, Stephen.
Yep.
You and Brian and
Yeah, because I mean, we put on the fireworks show last year. I mean, a lot of people. I just had a bunch of people last Friday that I talked to, and they're like, "Man, that's the best fireworks show we ever seen." And these people are older, right? I mean, they've seen a lot of different fireworks
heck
shows.
yeah, no, you guys did really good.
That's,
Excellent.
I'm over here trying to keep from getting my hand blowed off, so I didn't even see it go down, right? I'm busy looking at the ground. I didn't even see none of it. So it's kind of it's sort of a thankless job, to tell you the truth.
Well, yeah.
But it's
there's
also
it's
a little bit of fender snapping, but not much. When you got the liability over here, it's like one little rubber band. Ding. Anyhow, yep, the Mortar Men at Facebook.
And where's that is that gonna be at the same place?
Well, so that's TBD right now. We do have the go ahead to go ahead and put it up at the where we did it last year. We have some people that we might have a different venue. I don't want to say anything right now.
Okay.
Because,
All right. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah.
I don't need to muddy the water.
I'm hoping that
You'll get it pinned down.
we'll have it pinned down. I mean, as bad as I hate to say it, it's basically, and I appreciate everybody's what they've already done and what they've done, but who's the biggest donor, right? Whoever donates the most money is going to have a chance
To host.
yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
Or,
Influence the decision anyways. Okay.
yeah, I mean, if you can fit somewhere between 25 and 50% of the bill, then we're going to do what you
Going to
want.
listen to you?
Yeah, because it's, last year we had I forget what it was. I think we rounded up by the time it was all said and done. I think we had about 12,000 worth of fireworks and another 3,500 or somewhere in that neighborhood of insurance, and not to mention all of the.
Well, you had posts and
We
man,
built,
there was all
built
kinds
the
of stuff.
fence and put the fence up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Josh bought all the fence and.
Yeah.
It's just the wire ties to put it up. And there's just a lot of stuff that we put out of our pocket.
Yeah.
For me to bring in the post driving rig and we drove them posts pretty dang quick, but if you were to drive them posts by hand, you're talking about, there's probably 2,500 worth of fence.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, we're hoping to get to 20,000, hoping to get maybe 15, 16,000 worth of fireworks this year.
Good deal.
Tentatively, we're if something goes down, we're discussing amongst ourselves about maybe holding off till New Year's Eve. I would like to do that. My cohorts haven't determined yet. I tried to get them to make a call before we went on air here, but they didn't do it, which is fine. But we're still trying to decide. They're like, well, as soon as the fire ban goes off, we're lighting them up. And I'm like, I would rather see it more of a celebration than just, whim. Oh, it's on Tuesday night. Hell, the fire ban's off. We're lighting them. It's kind of a big. I would rather have it
A
on
nice planned event, controlled planned event.
We've been wanting to do it on New Year's Eve anyhow. Because that would just be. I think it would be really cool because number one, it gets dark a lot earlier.
Absolutely.
You don't have to wait till like 10 o'clock.
Well, that's true.
And of course,
And the youngins can enjoy it a little bit more that way too.
Yep. And of course, a lot less fire hazard and all the stuff that boils down, or hopefully less fire hazard.
Oh yeah.
But anyhow,
Well, good deal. That's awesome.
so yeah. You want to plug your seeds or
Oh, I can.
while we're plugging stuff?
So we're planting the garden, and most of you folks know that cold crops do the best up here. So we do a lot of peas and cabbage, the root crops, the beets and the carrots and things like that. But the brassicas do well, cabbage and broccoli, cauliflower, and such. I'm doing a lot of peas this year, but Burrell's seed company out of Rocky Ford and they've got a really nice package this year. Usually they come in in a paper package, and this is some carrot seeds I've had. So that's not quite as user friendly.
There's a lot of carrot seeds. Yeah,
I got a lot more planting to do.
if you know or don't know, folks, carrot seeds
Pretty little.
it's almost like taking an ink pen and drawing on a piece of paper. Just that's how thin they are.
Yeah, absolutely. But these ones, this one hasn't been open yet, but you just cut across the top here, and then it's got a resealable, and then it's got a heavy duty plastic, so it's pretty nice. Anyways, they're a local Colorado company right out of Rocky Ford, and I've always had good luck with them. I've dealt with them for about 25 years now.
Gotcha.
So, that's a little plug for them, but we got all kinds of stuff. They've got a website you can go to. Burrell's Seed Growers LLC, Rocky Ford. So that's kind of where that's at.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I guess we can kind of get into our topic today. I know the headline talked about Zuckerberg, and so we can start with that. So, this interview that I was watching to kind of get all this started off, was actually on Band.video. It was actually Alex Jones's interview. Kudos to him. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people think he's overbearing and I mean, there's just a lot of different opinions about him. In my opinion, he is one of the reasons that we're still able to do what we do in this world. I mean, he has more viewers than CNN and all that put together. I mean, he don't have as many as Joe Rogan, but he's kind of influenced Joe Rogan, and so, I mean, kudos to Alex Jones. But anyhow, we're talking about Zuckerberg having this underground bunker in Hawaii, and they was asking him a little bit about this, a little bit about that, and of course he don't want to say anything, but I guess this bunker goes from his property all the way to the ocean where they can get on their submarines and take off.
Yeah, we have submarine races when we get bored.
So that's what the billionaires are doing, folks, right? I mean, they're building these underground cities, and so that kind of leads us into the topic of there was an interview, and I've sent that over, and it should be getting posted on the website so you can look at it. But there was an interview with Tucker Carlson and a lady called named Catherine Austin Fitz. And I've heard about her for a good number of years from some very diehard friends of mine. So she's an economist or a banker, and she was the assistant secretary for HUD, Housing and Urban Development.
Under which president? Was that Bush?
Bush, yeah. She was under Bush. And so she proceeds to talk about how, I mean, there's so much corruption and everything, and of course she brought it to light, and then they tried to strip her and took her pension and took her bank accounts and did all that stuff, and she was still able to survive. But there's quite a deep conversation there. But to start with, she was talking about these. It reminds me a lot of the bullshit with low-income housing. So they were building what they would call low-income housing, for $250,000 a pop. And they could buy.
And what year was this?
Early 90s, I think. Or I'm not sure.
But it was quite a while ago.
It was quite a while ago.
Because 250
is in the 90s.
Ain't nothing now.
Well, so what they were...
But back then, that was a huge deal.
Well, and I mean, like these little rinky-dink things across from the dome, I mean, I would think that you could build one of them for $250. If you can't, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not a builder by trade, but...
Well, you got enough common sense to know that that's...
I mean, if you're not... If you can perform by the hour and get the work done and not rape the hell out of everything, you should be able to build one of them for $250.
Comes down to what you said is that efficiency.
Yeah.
And if you've built these models before, but we won't get off this.
But yeah, because what she was talking about is they could buy houses that were already built and refurbish them for $50,000 a piece, and so she could basically buy and put 5 houses into service for what one new house was.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, no, you can't do that because then our friends ain't getting paid. And that's what this, it's really complicated. And so I encourage everyone to watch. I mean, right, it's right there. It's April 28th interview with Tucker Carlson, folks. You can catch it anywhere where you watch all your podcasts.
Well worth your time. Very insightful.
But she talks about how they thought then that, America had already lost. And so what they've done is they've taken and they've created a parallel society. And that's why when she did the audit from 2008 to ended in 2015, how we were short $21 trillion. Well, they've taken all this money, the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements. The Bank of International Settlements there's no jurisdiction over them at all. It's like the Vatican, right? I mean, nobody can slap their hand or say you can't do this, And so they can basically take and funnel this money from the American people to pension funds. And there's part of that that's kind of complex that, I mean, I'd have to listen to it a couple times and really study it.
But it's a lot of the stuff that Doge just discovered on how they were funneling money to different organizations through these non-geos.
Yeah, and this is
NGOs.
this is the ones where they can't. This is like so covert that Doge can't even figure this out because it's all BIS and IMF, Bank of International Settlements, and the International Monetary Fund. I mean, this is coming from the Treasury, but it's like you can't even tell where it's going, right? I mean, they've washed it out so good that you can't tell where it's went. But they've created these parallel societies underground. She says there's 170 different cities all over the United States, some of them under the ocean or whatever, and they're all interconnected with transportation. And I mean, I've heard Cheyenne Mountain, NORAD, DIA. I mean, them are two big entry points into that system. And of course, you know, they were telling her, well, if you don't want to play ball, then you're out forever. She's like, I ain't playing with you. I'm out, right? And you know,
she drew a line in the sand.
She's like, my integrity and my soul is worth more than
absolutely
than the money that you guys are trying to do. So I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, I mean, this is a long conversation. Jimmy's got some notes because he listened to it too, but it's what we've been talking about this whole time, folks. It's the moral fabric of what you are is what matters in this world. And so you have to have that integrity and to stand up for what you feel is right. Because, I mean, there's 150 different ways that you can lose your soul. And 149 of them are basically over money. And so that's what the whole digital, I mean, the digital prison of what it is now is kind of how they're going to, that's the only way they could ever really get where they want to go, is to keep track of every single person. And so, you know, before the internet, because one of the guys that had said something to her, he was like, well, it'll never work. And she's like, well, that's before the internet, right? You guys tried to do that with notebook paper and it ain't going to work like that. With the internet now and your cell phone, then everybody's like, I mean,
in a debit card,
they're all hooked together. Yeah. And I mean, well, even
the banking system.
Yeah, even without a debit card, even a check, right? That's still that same thing. You have a bank account, and the bank account all goes to the bank. Yeah. It's a central bank. And the central bank is the BIS. The Bank of International Settlements is the central bank of all central banks, right? So it's the banking cartel is who really is what she calls Mr. Global, right? Who is, and according to her, or her knowledge, doesn't sound like there's any one person that you can really put a finger on, but it's these families that have, you know, it's the Rothschilds and Rockefeller, and I mean, Gates is trying to do his best, and Soros, and I mean, I'm sure, you know, the King of England, and all these people that have this money that they've created, they basically have derived it out of thin air. And so it was 21 trillion in 2015. And so in my mind, I'm going, so now the 36 trillion that we're in debt, is that the money that they just took from us? Were we not in debt? We just got robbed, right? We ain't in debt. They just stole it from us.
They reallocated it. They just, well, and that's my saying, and a lot of people aren't going to get it until whatever, but it's the government for the government, supported by the people. And you can see that even, you can watch cabals and groups of people form, and they use things for their special interest and abuse the taxpayer.
And I was thinking about that earlier today. And so it usually takes 6 or 8 times for people to catch on. But so I'm going to tell you again, folks, we've said it before, we'll say it again. What determines what people are is how you think money should be spent, right? And so we have people that are fiduciarily
responsible.
Yeah, and
And fiscally responsible.
Physically, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking physically, but with an F.
Yeah.
Physics.
But they're balancing the they're balancing. They got a budget. They're staying in the budget.
They got to live
and
within
they're
their means
disciplined and
because,
they're living. That's the key. What you just said.
and then you have these other people that live off of the government, right? So it's like, well, we can spend more, Billy Bob Biden, right? We can just keep
Hurry up and spend it before it's all gone.
spend more because we're going to get more, right? We'll get your taxes are coming up, right? Just as soon as you take another breath, your taxes due again.
Yep. Exactly.
And so that's a dividing line here of what STEM people just think that they can just keep getting more money and more money, and that's why that division of why they think that America couldn't sustain itself, and that's why it can't sustain itself. We all know this, right? You can't have somebody come in and you can't have raiders come in and raid your food cache year after year after year and expect to thrive. And that's why at this point that we're not thriving, right? Their whole system is designed to physically take our money away. And that's what they're doing, right? They're poisoning us, right? The poison within creates a lower mental capacity, and it also creates this huge draw on your checkbook, right? People can't perform like they need to, and they also have to pay through their teeth for medical care because they're getting poisoned by the people that they entrust to for their own betterment. I mean,
so it is. It's every aspect of our lives being contaminated by this mentality.
And so the solution, right, is what we've been saying it is the whole time, right? It's understanding what they're doing, and it's even though, one of Catherine's quotes on that was, and somebody, she was in a church somewhere or whatever, and this lady says, the devil can take my house and the devil can take my car, but the devil can't take my joy. And so that's the whole thing, is that we have to be happy that we're still alive and continue to fight, right?
We got to be resilient.
Can't never give up.
And the R2, I think that's what the R kind of stands for in that. And we're trying to be a resilient. There's a group of people that encourage one another to stay the course and not give up and prepare.
And then there's you and I. That we don't play patty cakes resilience, right? I mean, we literally are. If we weren't resilient, we will die.
Yeah.
I mean, we will perish. We will cease to.
It wouldn't take long.
No, and that's it. I mean, we're tap dancing on a razor blade here.
Yeah, well, maintaining a quality of life that we're accustomed to.
If you got
with inflation,
if you got a 401k with $500,000 in it, and your house is paid for, and you got a bunch of stocks that are generating you $100,000 a year or whatever, you ain't thinking about none of this. You're thinking, hell, life is fine. Hell, what you guys don't know what you're talking about. Hell, life's great. Life's fine. Well, thing is that you're in a trap. The noose is around your neck and you don't even know it because you're too comfortable. And of course, I'm not talking about everyone, but the bigger share of people that with money have no idea what is actually happening to them.
Well, the situational awareness is what we're trying to get out there is let people understand, look, the trap is set. The timeline is getting a lot closer. The time is getting shorter to them going kaplunk. And at that point in time, you're just a digital captive. There's nothing you'll be able to do. If you don't comply, you won't be able to spend your money.
Yeah, that's it, right? And so it's the mandated vax, right? You won't take the vax, then your social credit score.
Your money's shut off.
Yeah.
No, your money is shut off. You don't buy, sell, or trade. You don't. You're done.
And it's as simple as that whole thing. Well, you're not supposed to go a mile away from your house. Well, so your credit card or your chip card won't work when you get outside that. I mean, that's ultimately where they're going. And
control.
That's the control.
Sure.
And on the other side, I mean,
a lot of people want that.
Well, and then the thing about it is there's really some good attributes to it.
Sure.
There really is. And that's the thing with all technology, right? It's all about how are you going to use it? I mean, that's It's just like the firearm, right? Yeah, you can go out and you can rob somebody and you can create grievous acts and all that, but you can also defend yourself against a ravaged bear or a pack of wolves.
Or somebody else that has that gun that is wielding it with an evil heart.
And I mean, just like real simple stuff in nature, not even talking about man.
Oh no,
to man.
just killing a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
sure.
I had that conversation with my dad today on the way to take care of some business. It's like, really, what's happened to America? And we talked about this. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was last week, about neo-communism. Right? So it used to be like before 1989, communism was financial and class driven. And that wasn't working. So this new breed of communism, fascism, socialism, all of this stuff, Fabian socialism, all this stuff wrapped together, it's all about race. And it's all about there's an oppressor and an oppressee. And that's what's the matter with America today, right? Is we are so caught up about hurting somebody else's feelings that we can't take care of our own. We can't take care of our own. We're too soft. We're too weak. We're too ingrained that we got to watch out. Jimmy's been talking about this forever. I can't speak what I'm saying because your feelings are going to get hurt. What happened to the First Amendment, freedom of speech, right? I can still
debate. I mean, and it happened right in front of us, right here in Custer County. I'm still irritated about it. That West Cliff Institute came to town, just showed up, and we're going to have the candidates set up here, and they're just going to tell us who they are. We couldn't ask them questions. Here we are hiring somebody to represent us as a commissioner. And we couldn't have an open debate. So that's what you're talking about. And it's right here, right now. And those are people right here. I know their names. I know where they live. I know them. And that's how they roll. They're an extension of what you're talking about, Stephen. It's right here, right now. And that has to stop here.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's definitely at one level, and that's older people, but look at what's going on at the school.
Well,
now
it's all right
now,
here.
King Polis, I want to call him some bad names. The D sucker, Captain King Polis, the D sucker up there. He wants to try to tell you that if you don't call your kid they, them, this, that, he, she, cat, shit, in the bathroom, whatever, that they can take your kid from you? Like, man, I mean, I hate to say it, but he needs to be tarred and feathered. That's what tar and feather was for, right? That's what we used to do to people that acted like that. You get your ass tarred and feathered if you didn't get hung.
So there again, what is the tool?
Captain D sucker.
What does the tool? Because that stepped way over the line there. I mean, that's way over the line there, folks. And if you can't agree with that, we're definitely different kingdoms. There needs to be a procedure, and I guess it's a recall to do it civilly. But I believe somebody in that position that's taken that kind of power from the parents, from the constituents, that's an overstep. That's a breach of the oath.
And it is. And
it's a breach.
This is where I'm like torn, right? Because I know that violence is not the way, but it's like, a recall isn't going to stop him from what he is and what he's doing. He's still King Polis D-sucker, right?
Well, holding that position, look at the whole difference between Biden getting out and Trump coming in. The darkness left, the light came in, is the way I feel it, the way I see it. The hope and the regeneration of the working people and the people that don't want to hand out, people that are stand up, hardworking, honorable Americans, it's a salve to them to have a strong leader that believes and thinks like they do, as opposed to let's just keep all this free money going, and they use it, they abuse that position dramatically. And Polis here again was part of that kingdom. He's still part of that.
Yeah, he is.
And projecting this perversion and going against.
We're as bad as California and New York at this point. I mean, we have this. This is the Democratic stronghold of all strongholds. And I told the old man today, I said, God, I said, I know this is where we call home, but Jesus, talk about being in a snake pit.
Well, and here again, I think.
And then you wonder why people like Magpul and. I mean, if I hit the lottery or something, I would be tempted to
run for governor,
or move to Montana or
something.
I don't know. I mean,
right? No, I understand. Yeah, and it is. It's all about. We do want to try to enjoy being in constant battle all the time. Kind of wears on you. I've been battling this thing for about 7 years now, pretty steadily, and I've about had it, but. It's actually forming me for the days to come, because it ain't over. It's not over yet. But I would like to see, when the enemy rushes in, there's a new standard that gets raised up. Well, if this enemy of perversion hasn't pricked a lot of these people and revealed to them how sinister the government is becoming, and they're getting involved in things they have no business, whether it's a wood chipper. You know what I'm saying? It's
Billy Bob Biden,
whether it's telling your little kid, "Oh no, if your mommy tells you you're a girl but you think you're a boy, we'll go along with you, youngin." Well, that school teacher right there needs to be arrested on the spot.
Well, and that's back to. I mean, that's what.
So we've got to raise the standard of behavior.
What did the CIA say? They know they've done their job when what the hell was it when every falsehood you think is a truth or something, right? I mean,
absolutely.
When you think that a man can have a baby, folks, I mean, if you know anything about biology and about nature, you know that that's impossible, right? But you still have these people that honestly think that, and that's how disillusioned. And so that, going back to that whole let's be civilized and let's have let's impeach them or let's recall them or all of that. Like when the light, when you have darkness, and then when the light comes in, they don't coexist, right? There is no, well, let's play patty cakes and kumbaya and we'll try to come to a compromise or a negotiation. That's not how it works.
No.
When the light comes, the darkness is gone. It's annihilated. It's annihilated.
It's like Biden going out and Trump coming in. Whole new cabinet. Whole new
and
regiment.
I'm not. That's back to. I mean, I'm torn between how do we civilly and diplomatically do something with King D-Sucker.
Public pressure. People getting involved, and if they don't get involved, it's going to be their own fault.
Yeah.
So
public pressures with the 44.
Well,
just saying.
I
mean, so at what point, right? Because public pressure ain't cutting it, folks. And maybe we're not putting on enough pressure, but it's like we're trained as Americans to compromise. Oh, let's play patty cakes. Oh, we can't be racially unjust here. We gotta play kumbaya here because we all have a no. See, that's where
they disarmed us.
I disagree with
our
that,
First
right?
Amendment.
Because I'm a child of light, and so when I see darkness, I destroy darkness. I don't play kumbaya with the snake.
No. So that's how with this being politically correct, and you people, I don't think any of them are listening because they were pretty much all liberals. I got right in a pit. But I learned a lot. I got stretched out of my comfort zone. But I also got to define my own existence and what I was living. I'd listen to them carry on about their liberal affairs and how they saw, looked at things, their perspective. Then it was my turn to get up and talk. Oh, Jimmy, you're not being politically correct. And what that meant was, I'm not in agreement with them, and we can't have a contrastial debate. So they neutralize our First Amendment with that hogwash. Oh, you're hurting my feelings. Well, that's what it's about. I'm supposed to hurt your feelings.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, for how many years?
Man.
How many years was the pillar of the Democratic Party free speech?
That's what I'm saying.
All through the 60s and, I mean, Kent State and all of this. I mean.
What a hodgepodge of events.
But now, right, the Democrats are like, you can't say that.
Right.
Like, that you're a Democrat, right? It's free speech. That's what y'all been preaching for however many years. And now you're like, no, it's misinformation. Oh, yeah? Well, not according to me. And I like no science, so I know that man can't have a baby. I know when you come out and you look between your legs, you're either what Trump signed the executive order. You're either male or you're female. And in the atrocities, I mean, I literally know firsthand, not firsthand, but I've talked to this younger generation. I know one of the kids up here and one of the young men that used to live up here moved to Colorado Springs. They have a cat box in the bathroom in these schools so that a kid can go into the cat box and use the cat box because they identify as a cat.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's... I know you're supposed to keep a light heart of it, but that to me is... It is so effed up, man. I mean, that is beyond... I mean, think of the embarrassment of this child. I mean, you think bullying and making fun of you because you don't have on the hip new shoes or you got on some secondhand clothes or... I mean, imagine...
I can't.
Imagine what it would be like to come in front of your peers and say, yeah, I just went into the bathroom and I took a dump or I peed in the cat box.
And I covered it.
Because with my hands, right?
And I covered it up. Oh, no, I scratched it with my feet. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. It's so disgusting and perverted at this point in time.
Why,
if we can't make a line in the sand and figure out there's things that make things right, and there's a thing that makes things wrong. And a free society, such as a constitutional republic, is based on good, strong moral conduct.
Well, and so
and
here...
we got freedom with the perversion, and that's why we're teetering here.
And Catherine made a really good point. She said she I'm not sure if it was Congress or Senate or whatever, she was talking about somebody she knew in Idaho. And they said, yeah, for every dollar that we give the government, they give us $1.19 back. And they were talking about, well, Catherine was asking them, why don't you uphold the Constitution? And they said, because we would rather have the 19 cents. And that's the whole thing here, folks. Everybody's compromised over money. And so, I mean, I don't want to make this sound the wrong way, because I mean, I go around all the time with my dad and he wants to try to argue with me one way, but I know on the other hand that he's not that way, right? And so I was telling him a little bit about what she said, and he's like, well, I got to do whatever it takes. And I'm thinking to myself, you say that now, but I've been around you for so long.
He's thinking of being the devil's advocate.
I'm going to have to throw the bullshit flag, pal, because you tell me that the people we do business with, we still owe them from 20 years ago about how good they treat us, so we can't charge them. We can't charge them today because how well they treated us 20 years ago. And so you're trying to tell me that we got to do whatever we can to try to make some money, but we don't even charge the people we do business with because you're too proud of the way that they treated us 20 years ago. It's like, man, we'll never pay our debt off. And I'm like, I don't feel that way, right? We paid at the point of impact. And that's why I like doing the barter thing, or sort of. But at the end of the day, I would rather just pay.
Yeah.
Jimmy,
Absolutely.
you help me. You
Yep.
tell me how much it was, and
Okay.
then when I help you, this is the bill. That way we can keep it square, because inevitably somebody is going to get their feelings hurt, even if they don't say anything.
So if it's a favor, you know it's a favor, and that's what you're doing. Okay? But now if you're coming out to make some money, earn some money, boom, it's got to be that way. It's got to be cut and dry.
Well,
but if somebody says, hey, can you pick me up down here at the bus stop or something? Hell yeah, I can. You know, can you help me change the brakes? Yeah, I can do that.
But that's one of them things too.
Little things.
Because,
But yeah.
but all of a sudden, though, and that's where I'm at, is the little things is what all of a sudden it's 20 years of little things, and then we're wondering why we're broke.
Well,
Hell, we've been doing all this stuff for free.
I'm not going to argue with you.
So, I mean, he's over here telling me we got to do whatever we got to do. But on the other hand, he doesn't understand that on the inside, he actually doesn't believe in money. I mean, he does on one. I mean, you can whatever, you rub two nickels together or whatever, right? I
He
mean,
yanked the buffalo right off the nickel.
this son of a gun is ultra tight. But yet on the other hand, he won't charge you. And we've done so much work for these big ranches and never gotten paid. I mean, I can't hardly fathom the amount of work that I've done. The Boyer Ranch, for one, right? I mean, I did so much to improve that, the fences, the ground. I mean, when we went out there, they put up like 200 acres of hay. When I left, it was 800. Put in all the diversions. Found water rights they didn't even know about. We didn't get paid for none of that shit. I mean, we got paid if we could dig it out of the dirt. And his whole idea is, as well, we had a good life and we did fine. And it's like, well, sort of. I mean, we had a good life. It was clean, right? We didn't hurt anybody. We didn't rob anybody. We didn't take any government money that wasn't ours for you know what I mean? We're not corrupt. But yet on the other hand, it's like we gave away so much. And so when he tells me, well, you got to do everything you can do. And I'm just like, that's not what that's what you say, but that's not what you act. Just putting that out there as an example,
Right.
of how people, it's said it once, said it like 15 times, going to say it again and another 20 times after that. It's all about how you feel about money.
Well, when it's your carved out, hard-earned money, it's one thing. When you're getting taxpayers' money, and that's why the ethics comes in so much.
When we hear how many times that the people in the Republican Party now have been sued, I mean, you're talking about 10, 15 times they've been in court. And they're in control of the Republican Party now?
So there again, that's another challenge that needs to be met, and we need to have a better group of people representing.
Well, and then so I mean I'm
gonna just put the call out there about that. I want to get an email thing established for the different districts. There's 3 districts and 6 precincts. There's basically 2 precincts per each district.
No, well, that's precinct person. There's only 3 precincts.
Right, but there's 2
People per precinct.
Right, got it. So there's 2, basically
Two
representatives in a district.
Right.
So what we need to do is get a map and find out what district you're in, see what precinct you're in.
Yeah, so it's basically the same as the commissioner.
It's kind of close, but there's an actual colored map.
Yeah. So all you got to do is just Google the precinct map, and it'll come right up.
So I want to post that in the newspaper. Hopefully Jordy and as well as George. George already said he would do it. so that we can get an email list established of each one of those.
So let's talk about this part.
I mean, being proactive. We don't need to dwell on it, but we're going to be proactive.
Let's talk about this part. Great idea. You and I have been talking about that. I mean, you've been on that ever since we were being a part of the Republican Party. We're not a part of it now because they won't invite us. We don't know when it is. Our PCPs, my PCP are Don Ramsdale and Nikita Phillips. Ain't neither one of them took the time. I walk right past Dawn in the cafe, but she won't mention to me that there's a meeting because they don't want you there, folks. They have their own little clique. They think that, and this is all run by Ann and Lisa. I mean, that's who's running this whole thing.
Were they the ones in the courthouse the other day?
They're the ones that have been in the courthouse multiple times.
Oh, they've been sued a couple times.
They've been sued at least 10 times, according to what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
Whatever.
I don't care how many times you've been sued. I know how many times I've been sued. Never. Right? Because I try to keep my actions clean, and hopefully I don't let my pelican mouth override my hummingbird ass while we're here on air. Oh, here comes the law dog right there. Oh, he went by. He looked in here, though. This is a real delicate situation, folks, about how and why you would stand up. And I'm just gonna throw this gentleman's name out there, and I'm pretty sure that he don't care because, I mean, I know this is how he feels, and it's Brock Flynn, right? I've talked with Brock. I've been at a couple meetings with Brock, and
yeah.
he talked about donating a lot to the Republican Party, and he's done. Stick a fork in him, he's out of there. He's not going to put up with this
cabal.
Well, the childish behavior,
right?
I mean, you can call it a cabal and try to make it like these people are all powerful.
No,
they ain't none of that.
Right.
What it is the people with power.
It's the clique.
The people with the power, the people that are really involved in this community, the high-powered people, have given up on it. They are not willing to associate with such petty behavior. And that's really, so when we're talking about having an email list and trying to get more people involved, the real high-powered people can't be bothered. And I can't wait. And I'm going to just say this, Brad, I'm talking to you, bud. I mean, you've mentioned to me quite a few times, Mr. Ballsy, the corner, right? Does a pretty stand-up job with what he needs to be doing. Give him that. But you've mentioned to me a few times, you say, you know what irritates you is that people want to show up to these CCRCC meetings, and they've never really been there before, but they want to just come in and then all of a sudden take the show over. Okay, legitimate, right? Legitimate feeling, legitimate complaint, legitimate gripe, whatever. The problem is, at this point, is my representative, Nikita, your wife, isn't doing her job because she doesn't even tell me when the meeting is. So you're over here telling me, well, it ain't fair for people to come in here and try to start running stuff because we've been coming every time. Nobody comes because y'all can't even get it together to invite anyone. And then when I talk to Ann about it, she says, well, we don't have the email list together. And like I said, I get an email for Liberty Rocks, but you can't send me an email to the Republican Party. And it's complete horseshit because Joni Wilcox has taken everybody's email address for the last 4 or 5 years. So what, you're not smart enough to take it off of you're not smart enough to compile an email list that you already have. Either that or you're just bullshitting us. And that's what it is. Are you that stupid? Or are you bullshitting it? Because it's one or the other, Brad. So I'm pissed, bud. And that's why I haven't been to a meeting since the regime changed, because you all won't take it upon yourself, Nikita. And I don't even care about Dawn. She's made me mad from the start when I tried to call her and she wouldn't even answer me, and she made all kind of sly remarks to other people in the party about who the hell is this? You know who in the hell I am. You and your wannabe half-ass ranch bullshit you think you're doing, you ain't doing shit. You're a joke. And you're my representative? And that's how I feel. You're not representing me one bit. And that's where I have a gripe with you, Brad. Because man to man, when you tell me you're upset because people want to come in because they haven't been there for a while and then they want to run the stuff, then we finally start to get some stuff going and get some participation, and then once the regime change happens, y'all don't want us there. Like I said, it's two ways. Either number one, you don't want us there, or number two, you're too stupid to figure out the email list that you already have. And there's no other explanation. You've had enough time. You've had enough. It's your job, Nikita, to represent me. And you can't even invite me to the meetings.
Yeah.
And here Jimmy is trying to take it upon himself to create an email list to send it to people like Brock Flynn that don't care anymore because they can't be bothered with the pettiness of the people involved.
Right. And it'd be more of the mega group, because this group of Republicans up here, I don't know exactly what pollinated them. I kind of do. But there's a whole group of people out there that they have irritated because of their behavior. I mean, there's quite a few things that have taken place. The Justice Center was one of the silliest things. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to unite. We're going to have to unite underneath a strong, patriotic American umbrella. And this thing that's up here now, whatever's going on there, I say it's a cabal. You called it something else, a little niche, a little tight niche group. And that's kind of what it is. Well, yeah, I just use the word cabal just because I see the clique.
To me, a cabal is like
a well-organized
Russian mobsters or
right.
the Italian mob, right?
Yeah.
Some serious.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing but a bunch of old cackling hens. And you look at all the people that are in there. Why is it all women?
Just saying.
And they just vote each other. I mean, the only person is
Andrew
Zeller, and he's not even here. Not even in the country. Last I heard, he was in Canada in his RV or something.
Yeah. So here again, we're going to need that strong leadership to influence this county and to get it and to keep it on the straight and narrow. And we're going to have to not get along like we've been doing. Hurry up and spend the money before it's all gone. We're going to have to live within our means, like you said earlier. We have got to learn, because the money's drying up.
The money's drying up.
And we've said this for several years. The madness will continue till the money runs out. That's where we were begging these commissioners to do the most financial, responsible, conservative decision-making they possibly could. And they've not. They followed King Polis all the way to the gates of hell.
And so here's another thing too. So I see that they put an advertisement in the paper. I mean, you can't even read it. It's so poorly designed. I mean, I got to put on my super magnifying glasses and get in the sunlight to see it.
Right.
Right. I was talking to someone today, and they're like, I couldn't even see what it said.
Right.
And so they're having a fundraiser, but I can guarantee you that you're out of your mind if you think that I'm going to donate a cent to the Republican Party if you don't even have enough wherewithal to invite me to the meeting.
That's what I'm saying. It seems to me like they're almost stiff-arming the constituents.
They are.
And they're just kind of keeping that little tight thing of influence. And it's scary because of the finance.
But the good thing about it is that we got some underlying stuff that we're working on and that we've been working on for a long time here to try to prove the derelict, Billy Bob Biden, right? You can only be derelict for so long, right? I mean, Joe Biden, his constituents, Oh, he's the best Biden ever. Hell, he's completely and totally capable. And now they're facing so much criticism because that poor bastard didn't know if he was punched or bored. Hell, all he knows is he likes ice cream and smelling little girls.
Yeah.
That's all he knows.
So how ridiculous that behavior was. And ethically, the people that were around him had an ethical charge to say, look, Mr. Biden, I mean, when he was being charged for that thing and he went in front of him, they said, well, he's too old and too stupid. He'll never make it through the court. You remember that? So he's got the button.
But he's, yeah, so
he got the nuclear button.
But yeah, he's fit to lead us, but he ain't fit enough to go to court.
So
like that's the Democratic. Now that's the Democratic lunacy, right?
The lunacy
of the little kids using the cat box in the restrooms. That's what we've gotten from this complacency of this division of neo-communism, right? About this race card. Well, you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. You can't talk to them like that. I can, actually.
Politically correctness. And now, getting back to that point, too. So when I run into a situation like that, instead of grabbing somebody by the throat like used to be, I have to come up with the definition and explain myself. So what I basically told them, folks, is I said, so wait a minute. So I'm not being politically correct. Let's see what that really means. That means if I don't agree with you, and if I hurt your feelings, okay, I can't say anything. So you basically taken my First Amendment from me. You chilled my speech because I'm not politically correct. No, what kind of goofiness do you think that's going to carry with me?
Well, and the thing about it is it's basically it's nothing more than a spoiled little kid.
I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and you're going to come along with me, even if you don't like it.
It's nothing more than a spoiled little kid. That's all they are. They're so spoiled, and nobody's put them back in their place.
Well, and here again, we got to take the politically correct gloves off, completely shake them off, get into the debate, have arguments. It's healthy to argue out and see our differences.
Well, and I know that it's a part of society and always has been, and I don't want to be exposed to it. I mean, I don't care because it's not in my realm or in my even to give a shit. But I'll be a dirty, no good son of a bitch if I'm all right with the D-sucking governor. You queer bait, low life, sleazy.
And there's a group of them. It's not just him. It's the whole dog and pony show running that up there. And it's here. See, that influence is here. And most people aren't getting it. That's why we call these rhinos.
And that's why you and I do this podcast, because we're the only ones that, Mike, he's kind of with us too, but there's very few people that are actually as hardcore as we are about it, because it's, well, go along, get along. Well, it'll be okay. It'll be all right. It's okay. It's okay if we got a D-sucking governor. It's okay, but it ain't okay with me. So if it's okay with you, then that's back to where, at the end of the day, really we only got one thing in common, is that we just happen to be on this creation together.
At the same time, yeah.
That's all we got in common.
I wish Washington was here. I wished Lincoln was here. I wish there was a lot of men with principle and honor, dignity, strength, and courage, because we ain't got them now.
And the thing is there's a bunch of them here just like Brock. But he's not going to put up with this foolishness at the CCRCC, and quite frankly, I'm not either.
So we can't let them beat us. So that's why I'm saying I want to go ahead and get a group of people formed, and if we can use this for that stage and use the newspapers, because Jordan's is different as Jordan Bedberg is. He still has a sense of right and wrong about him. He just had a young'un. And here again, having that different viewpoint is contrastial, but it helps you discover yourself and what you're talking about in contrast with somebody else. So you should be able to come to
That's the thing about
a little bit of an agreement that's
But
right.
that's the thing about mathematics is I don't give a shit what you think. The numbers don't lie. You can have your head a mile up your ass or only head up your ass.
It's still up your ass.
And what's mathematically sound is mathematically sound. Man can't have a baby.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
you can't keep mocking nature and how
it's
things
the way
work.
that the cosmos works, and I know that we've been hidden. Physics and stuff is not exactly as what it seems, but yet 2 + 2 is still 4 in this reality, anyhow. And if you don't think so,
Well, then you got a problem.
then let me give you $2, and you can give me 4 back, and see how that treats you.
So did we get into the Harvard endowment and
So
all
yeah,
that?
so that was part of it too, right? So all this money, right? So Harvard is getting $50 billion a year, and they put 4% of it back to the school. And they did that all to keep up with the Vatican, with the money, and it goes back to, I mean, and this is where the tariffs, in my opinion, are such a critical part. I mean, everybody is so worried about the tariffs and oh my God, but it's like, if we can just get over the hill, right? They don't pay tax on that money. Same way the church don't pay tax on the money. But you expect me to pay tax on the money. But before 1913, when the big bankers took over the money of the country, and we was doing too good, folks. In the 1890s, we was richer than we've ever been in our whole life, and they knew it. And they were like, we can't have this, right? When people are wealthy, that's what Catherine's talking about too. To really get to a place in society where we need to be, everybody needs to have wealth. They can't be worried about, son of a bitch, I gotta choose between this and that because I don't have enough money for what I need.
We need to have abundance.
Yeah. I mean, I can't get enough milk because I got to buy gas to get home.
So I go to job.
So I can even get home to take the milk to the kid that needs it.
Right.
Can't even get back home without getting in a bind. And that's what that. So the wealth, right, to be at a higher level, and I mean, this is the basis of creation. We all know this, right? It's like the chakras or whatever, your primordial instinct is reproduction or sex, and then it's on up to shelter, and then or food and shelter, and then I mean, once you get that stuff squared away, then you can focus on intellect. And that's where we're at, right? They have us so downtrodden that all we can worry about is how we're going to try to make another nickel. And the people that already have the nickels, they don't give a shit, right? They think, well, hell, I'm higher and mightier than you because I got more money than you. I'm better than you are because I'm richer than you.
Well, they're better off. I mean, the people I know that have earned and saved and done well, typically was doctor, nurse, firefighter, pretty much anybody that was getting government money. Most of the people I work for up here have received government money, and it's government pension, and it wasn't you created wealth. You were paid taxpayers' money, and you filled the position of servants, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm not devaluing that. Okay, I'm not. All I'm saying is that structure worked real good for them.
That creates division though, because they're the haves. Yeah, you went ahead and went on the government tit, and the rest of us didn't, and so now you think you're high and mighty.
Well, I don't know if they think that or not.
You know they do.
Well,
just what's going on at the CCRCC? You don't think them people don't think they're better than us? You don't think that Joni Wilcox don't think she's better than you?
I have no idea.
I know she does. The way that she treats us,
I think they're a little high-minded and haughty, and
That's what I'm talking
There's a
about.
natural law that's going to bring that to an end. That's just something that happens.
And the natural law is leave a fool to his folly.
Yeah.
That's why people like Brock Flynn refuse to even associate with them low vibration people. Right? They don't have enough wherewithal to even get up out of that.
I mean, the outreach is, really, there was a few of us that got involved there, and there's no phone call. There's no, hey, you want to help? Here's an email. This is what's taking place. There's none of that leadership and influence.
Ann had the list that Gene and someone else created to start with, and they hijacked it for Liberty Rocks. That's why I'm saying I'll get an email from Liberty Rocks, but she won't go ahead and use that list for the CCR. CC says, well, we don't have a list. So what does Gene do? She bought her own list, and her and Jack bought the list and sent out the email. Kudos to Kim Heath again. That's why we're in the position where we're at, why we still have the ability for these email lists, because they gave us our graces and their blessings, or gave us their graces and blessings.
So I'm gonna take that lead and use that for an example. Here's an individual that brought strong leadership and influence to the party. We owe her. I owe her.
The thing is here's the part, folks, that's snotty, is that Ann had the list and she hijacked it for her own benefit, which is Liberty Rocks, and she still has that list. But she won't send it out, and she tries to say, "Well, they took the list." Well, it was Gene's to take. She paid for it, and they can buy it right now. Hell, if they wasn't so busy trying to spend their money on floats and parades and all kind of stupid bullshit, they could buy the list right now. Not to mention that everybody that's ever been to one of them meetings, his list is on, their email is on a list. So the fact of the matter that Ann had the list, hijacked it from Gene in the first place. Gene went and got her own list. Her and Kim Heath put it together to try to further the Republican Party. And I mean, they were sending out like 700-800 emails.
Yeah.
And text too. Right? I would get a text and an email.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It takes we the people to do this.
And so Ann had the list to start, but now she's saying she's mad because they took the list with her. You had the list initially, Ann, and I know that you got the list, or you wouldn't be sending me shit about Liberty Rocks.
Yeah, she said that was generated from the Jackie Bubis and that kind of time when she took that Liberty Rocks over.
So she's got the email list, but yet, that's what I'm saying. It's one of two things. You're either too stupid or you don't want us there.
So in my perspective of it, and this is why I call it a cabal, it's just a tight knit, and they don't want anybody else coming in and messing with it. Okay? They don't want anybody else coming in and going, what's going on? Why is that? So, and I don't need to tell anybody how to do their business, but Liberty Rocks thing, I've always looked at as a patty cake thing. We had some really big issues going on in this county, and they never really were addressed properly. One of them was the Justice Center.
Well,
Liberty Rocks should have hosted and should have been more invited, and all the paperwork and all of the information, we should have been educated. They're doing our business.
It's not about math.
But no, what do? They do bingo.
Yeah, it's not about math. It's about we feel this way, and we want to impress our will on you. So we're not going to let you talk.
That neutralizes the voice of the people, and that's what irritates me.
And that's back to, it's not mathematically driven. They're not fundamentally sound in what they're doing. So all I know is this big to-do that they have is on Alumni Weekend. It's Arlie Riggs's memorial, and it's something else. So the chance of them having a good fundraiser are low.
Well,
And you know, another part of irony is that ticket that they listed in the paper actually has a number on it, where all the tickets what they did for Lincoln Day didn't have any numbers. So it's like they knew that they got caught, but they were still able to wiggle out of it.
And it ain't over yet.
For me, it is.
They're
For
under an audit.
for me, it's over because, like I said, I'm not willing to donate to the Republican Party because you can't even invite me to a meeting.
Yeah. And a lot of it's campaign finance laws, and they didn't think that they had to comply to a lot of that.
Oh, now
this
now
number-
they're like, oh, we do blah, 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 and you're going to sue Leonard Rigo because he helped you? And he's over there just offering his services and trying to get to a conclusion, and you all sued him. That's how petty.
That's where they got to go.
That's how petty these people are. And for me, I mean, the Republican Party, the only real power that the Republican Party holds is that if something happened to one of the commissioners, that they get to say who the next
They appoint them.
they would appoint. Besides that, they have no power.
Well, didn't they do?
And why is it that Kelly Camper and Virginia Trujillo, and I mean, I've seen JD at one or two, and Rich Smith's pretty good. They don't ever show up.
Brad Balsley shows up quite a bit.
But besides Brad and Rich, the rest of them, all the rest of the people, the elected Republicans at the courthouse I've never won. And I'm not saying that I tried to go for like a year and a half or something. I never once seen any of them other people there, Kelly or Virginia or any of them. So like, how much power does the Republican Party really hold? Why is it that the Republican Party in Colorado are broke? Because they're in disarray, right? They're all divided against each other, just like it's divided here. People like Brock Flynn said, you can go to hell. I will never donate another penny to your bullshit.
And that's the division that's being promoted, and that's where that rhino comes in. We've got some rhinos that compromise, and it's very disheartening.
It is disheartening because, I mean, the thing about it is we're not the enemy. Everybody in Custer County is not the enemy of each other. Maybe true full-blown communists are, or complete and total thieves. But there's bigger stuff that goes boom in the night than we against each other here. And that's the problem, folks. We got to unite. I mean, at the end of the day, my ending note for the evening is, it's a spiritual battle, and that's what Catherine's advice was. Catherine Austin Fitts, folks, very, very, very intellectual, highly
Mature person.
This lady is a cut above, in my opinion.
She's a cut above.
There just ain't hardly any like her.
She's been forged. She said that
she's just like Tina Peters.
Yeah, when she was going, yeah.
And supposedly there was a bunch of stuff. Another note too is why we were talking about how Tina Peters, why Trump hadn't pardoned her, because he can't pardon her. King D Sucker's got to pardon her because it's not a
federal deal.
Right.
Got it. Yeah. So here at the end of the day, we need to put some pressure on Polis to pardon her. See, here's where I'm at. The Republican Party should be standing together, and issues like that need to be pushed right down his throat. He needs to have it pushed right down his throat. We need to go march in front of his house like they marched in front of the judge's house. Look, dum-dum, we've had enough.
Yeah, and all the people that are super hardcore. I mean, I'm not sure, but so here's where I was going with it, right? Is like, I know it's all timing of the universe, and it takes a certain amount. We got to keep pushing and never give up. But it's prayer, right?
Absolutely.
And I hate to say, I mean, I'm not. My teaching was that you never go down on one knee and bow your head, because that's how you get smashed over the head. That's the way I was taught. So I'm continuously praying
Absolutely.
that stuff will work for the better here.
Absolutely.
And so it's constantly, they're like, well, do you go to church? It's like, man,
I don't leave church.
I'm in church the whole time here. What, you think because you put money in the till that you're free from sin? Come on, folks. That's as big of a psyop, big of a lie as there's ever been, that you think that you can be forgiven for your sin because you put money in the till?
Well, yeah, a lot of religions and one God.
But so that whole, what it's going to take is to be happy. Try to be as happy as you can. I mean, that's what an old friend of mine used to say too, old Jackie L. Said it costs no more to be happy. And even though that they've taken almost everything from us, I mean, we're still doing all right, but I mean, we're not doing nearly as good as we could be.
I'm rested in that scripture says, don't grow weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap. I meditate in that. Don't grow weary in well-doing. When you're trying to change and make a difference, and you're fighting against a lot of different things, it's easy to give up. But there's...
Well, and it is. I mean, that's just...
And a lot of people have. A lot of people just went by the wayside.
Not to say anything negative to Brock, but that's kind of like where he's at too. It's like, I'm not putting up with your shit anymore. It's not that I've grown weary, but I'm just not a part of it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, some people just go away and rest, and I'm not saying they're giving up. They're just resting. It's like an eagle when it's molting.
Hints. Right? I'm removing myself from the evil doings.
Right.
I'm not a part of that shit.
Right.
And so, I mean, that's the timing of the universe. What is it really going to take to get back into the... It's going to go... We'll have to go to the caucus, folks. We'll have to go to the caucus in 26 to vote these people out. That's the only way. It doesn't matter that they got convicted for taking somebody's money.
And it looked like campaign abuse, too.
That's the only one we care about. That's what I'm saying. $750 worth of stamps from the way that I understand it.
Right.
The rest of it is irrelevant to me. None of my business.
No.
It wasn't my transaction.
All I'm saying, it's what took place during the fundraiser. It's a pattern of behavior. And that's all I keep saying. This is a pattern of behavior.
Same reason why they won't invite us. Same reason why they won't they got my money last year. I got one of the high grade tickets and never even went to the dinner because I had other obligations, but I was willing to donate to the cause.
To support.
And so was my dad. This year, not a chance. Won't give you a red cent because you can't even invite me to the meeting. You want my money, but you don't want my presence?
That's what I'm saying. I think it could be done so much better here. This is a good collection of, number one, it's a lot of veterans. Okay? Those guys wrote a blank check for their life, said, look, that's a big deal here. We don't need to mistreat the risks they've taken or the bloods that's already been shed on this country. And for us to take that so lightly and the way we're managing this Republican Party here is a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. From the commissioners all the way down to the precinct leaders.
Well, and
the whole dog and pony show.
I totally agree, and for me, it's the whole nation.
It is, but I can't do everything for the nation.
I know, but it's still the fact.
It is.
It's still the fact.
It's still, it's a fact. But to me, I have an obligation here.
It's not just here.
No, it ain't.
And so, I mean, that's back to like our only real thing is to try to get one click at a time on the come along. Try to get one click here, because it's not like we can just ratchet them down. It's not happening, right? The universe is not in time with us to just ratchet it.
Well, it's like I wanted Trump to get right back in there back to back. And knowing what I know now, looking in the timeline, it's probably such a godsend that he didn't get in there, that we made it through those 4 years of tribulation, and now we're getting back on track with a higher standard. Because he wouldn't have known. He wouldn't have been able to jockey the way he's done now.
So, and then, I mean...
So it looks kind of pitiful at a point in time. It's like, man, that's looking pretty, dang, how's this going to work? You just keep praying.
One of the things, too, folks, that I want to bring up, I may have said this before, but one of the biggest things, right, that is lurking in the shadows that I don't think that anybody realizes has to do with the census. And so in 2030, when the census comes out again, so all these illegals that are in all these cities, even though they won't vote, the census will give the Democratic cities. If it happens like it potentially could have, the Republican Party will never win ever again. And that's what they're... I mean, Trump is over here trying to say, well, we're going to deport them. They need to be deporting 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40,000 of these pricks a day. Oh, well, we caught 200. Let me explain something to you, folks. You ever tried to get to be a 50 millionaire? You ever tried to even get to be a millionaire making 200 a day? Good luck with that. You ain't never going to get there. So unless... This is one of the looming things that hardly anybody understands, is that when the census comes out in 2030, if all these illegal immigrants are still here, and at the rate they're deporting them, they will be, we're toast. That's just the way of it. They're going to get more seats than the Republicans can ever take over, and we'll never win another election.
That's very possible too. So he's paying, I think it's $1,000. We'll pay you $1,000 to get your ass back home. So he's on this thing vibrantly. He is absolutely trying to get this handled the best way he can. So I don't know how many.
So if you listen to, I forget one of these. He was. Damn, I can't remember which organization he worked for, but he worked for one of the government organizations and was working in California. But he's like, dude, I can go down here and show you where we can arrest 10,000 of these illegals in one day. Get them all in one day. No, well, we got 239. And now, right now, so the cost I heard the other day, we're offering them $1,000 to go home, and maybe you can get a better odds of coming back legally.
Right.
Instead of spending $17,000 per head is how much I heard the other day that it costs to deport one illegal immigrant. And that to me is so much, that's back to it's the whole racial thing. Oh, it's the oppressed and the oppressor. We can't mistreat. Why ain't we running down in there where these son of a bitches are thicker than thieves and arresting 10,000 of them at once? If you butt and crack their nuts like that for a good year,
here's what I'm saying.
Then you're getting there. Then you're going to get somewhere. At the rate we're going, we ain't even knocking the rust off the shit.
Right.
And honestly, if I was hardcore like some of these, you think $1,000 is going to tempt me? Son of a bitch, and I can make $5,000 a day slinging crack cocaine, and you're going to try to fucking tempt me with $1,000? Get the frick out of here. Y'all are so brainwashed bullshit. It ain't happening.
So I don't guess all of them are doing that.
I know, but how many of them are?
Well, what do we got, 20 million?
50.
50.
There's 50 million. There was 20 million of them here before Biden got in.
Before they
there.
opened the gate?
Yeah. That's what this guy, I mean, that's what.
Okay.
So you're talking about 20% of your population is illegal immigrants.
I mean, where's the countries now that have allowed all these to come
They're
in?
toast.
They're toast.
They are toast.
I think Poland stood up.
Hell, look at what happened in England when these gangs are gang raping these underage girls. That's what it'll get you. That's what this whole but we gotta be. We're oppressed. It's the white man's. He's the white man. He's the evil one.
He's the bad guy. He's trying to maintain a standard.
Get the hell out of here, Ohan Omar or whatever your sand.
Doop doop doop.
The sand in.
The
D-sucker and the sand in.
Yeah.
So anyhow, folks, I mean, that's enough ranting and raving. But the solution today is to pray. right? And I'm not talking about praying by putting money in the till on Sunday. I'm talking about going out there every second of every day trying to do the right thing. We've said this 100 times, and we're going to hear it another 300, 400, 500 times. You got to do the right thing, folks. It means hold the door open. It means be kind to your kid. It means have discipline. Think about what's going to really happen to your kid if you treat him with kid gloves and you give him everything he wants. He is going to do nothing but be a spoiled, useless draw on society. He's not going to be productive because we all know that it takes discipline, and you need discipline when you're a little kid. You can't eat cookies before dinner every day. And if you even let them do it once, then they get broke in and they want it all the time.
Well, when it comes down to weaning calves, I mean, that's a pretty dramatic deal there for a couple of weeks. But so Tucker Carlson and Catherine Fitz on YouTube, and they're going to be talking about the digital currency, breakthrough energy, Mr. Global.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot.
They're going to talk about the Harvard deal and give some pretty good insight on a lot of this.
Yeah, there's
secret underground bases all through the country, reversing globalization and what's taking place right now, why that could have a big impact on inflation. Fewer goods. Set rules. The digital thing could very well be a huge trap. It could be for a minute be
well,
pretty
then
good.
Let's get into that, right? I mean, part of the digital thing is so, I mean, I've studied, thanks to Mike, right? Mike kind of got me on it, but here in the last 6 months, I have spent a lot of time. I've spent I don't do it as much now, but when it was cold during the winter, right, I'd spend 3-4 hours a day researching what crypto is, right? And a lot of people don't understand that crypto is actually it's nothing more than a machine. It is a mechanism to do work, right? It's not this make-believe funny money scam, right? These particular cryptocurrencies, which is, I mean, it doesn't add up to me real well, right? Because, I mean, why are you going to call something that's a cryptocurrency that's actually a piece of machinery? I mean, and that's kind of odd for me, and it was hard for me to grasp. And once I grasped that, I'm like, oh, shit. This has nothing to do really with, I mean, it has intrinsic value. The utility coins, like meme coins, has no value, right? It's all speculation. Utility coins, the ones that do work, like XRP and XLM and not Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin doesn't do any work.
It's storage.
Sort of. I mean, a lot of people say that it's a huge diversion, that it'll end up going that there won't be any value, because why would you want to put your money into something that doesn't have real world use? It's speculation. And so if everybody speculates on it, great. But so anyhow, back to that whole digital thing, right? The thing about the digital world now is it's so expensive and it's so slow. And so think about how much more interaction we can do with instant settlements, right? Like it's like handing cash, but yet there's no fee, right? So, I mean, like on the XRP rails, these guys are talking about sending $50 million in 3 seconds for 30 cents across the world. If you try to send $50 million, like if you're an international company and you have branches in America and say in Japan, and you want to send $50 million to your branch in Japan, I mean, it's going to cost you 5%. So I mean that's
and 4 or 5 days.
That's $2.5 million,
or maybe even 10 days.
There goes $2.5 million.
Yeah.
And it's just like the credit cards, right? I mean, credit cards are part of our daily life. I mean, everybody's got a card, but folks, you're paying 3.5-4% for the transaction. That's a lot of money. I mean, you're talking about trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in transaction fees that will be erased. So the need for the need for
More efficient.
more efficient transactions is definitely on us, right? This is too fast a paced world. There's too many of us. The internet, all of this stuff we need.
And it's all traceable and trackable.
Yeah, and blockchain, right? I mean, you can't thief. That's why I'd love to see the treasury go on blockchain, so they can't take it
So
from
my
us anymore.
personal thing is I think in the wizardry of the Donald Trump golden era thing and getting out of this mortgaged position that we're in, I think we're going to maybe be able to use this significantly to bring the health back to the country financially.
Well, and so that's the thing. I agree, right? I think that cryptocurrency, that's why I'm trying to do my best to embrace it and understand it. It's still relatively, it's really new, right? I mean, it's been around for a little while. XRP, I think, has been around since 2013. But yet, I mean, it's just now
Coming into its own.
Yeah, it's just now coming into its own, right? Of
Yeah.
what? It's a utility coin.
Well,
Right.
we're catching on because we're understanding the importance of it.
Institutions are catching. People, retail people, the common Joe Blow on the street don't know shit.
They said less than 1% of the people are researching how this is. Every 100 years, I think Catherine Fitz talks about it. About every 100 years, the World Bank has a climatic change.
Well, and so if you look too along, how long does each world currency last? Usually never longer than 100 years.
So it's kind of one of those patterns.
So yeah, I mean, and it's like a tune-up on your car, right? It's like,
There you go.
It has to be done here, right? I mean, it's running shoddy. It's costing way more in gas than it should. It's just not efficient.
One of the things I really like about it, and it's kind of like double entry bookkeeping, and that's why I'm such a nut about why we can't get it done over here in the county, because it's debits in, credits and debits, and it balances itself. On that blockchain, I mean, everything is really right there all the time.
Well, and so
It's not double entry bookkeeping, but it's a damn sure good way to have receipts.
It's a ledger.
It's a ledger,
And,
absolutely.
and it's a ledger. It's like the old banks ledger in the 1800s. I mean, they did it longhand, and so they kept real accurate notes: how much money we took in, how much money we gave out, what we paid.
Debits and credits.
All this stuff is here. It's on a ledger.
Yep.
Now with the digital ledger with blockchain, it's all on the ledger, but you can't go in there and erase it.
No,
There's no way to alter.
absolutely. So it brings integrity.
Yeah,
I'm seeing the positives in it. I got one little negative thing about it, and it's the control that it may give somebody. But if it's decentralized and it's kind of broke up in a lot of different ways, I think it's going to hold the beast at bay.
Well, and so that's the whole thing about the central bank digital currency, and that's why supposedly the United States said there will be no central bank digital currency, because the central bank digital currency are the ones where if they had it implemented, if Mr. Global had the central bank digital currency implemented like he wanted to, that's when they can turn your money off.
Yeah, and that's
So that's if there's no central bank digital currency, if it's on the blockchain and something like XRP or XLM or whatever, HBAR or whatever, some
right.
of these other, primarily XRP,
primarily.
if it's on these payment rails, I mean, then you're fixed, right? You can't, it's decentralized, they can't take it from you. They can't cheat it. They can't lie. They can't steal it from you. I mean, they can, but you got to willingly. I mean, now they're talking about these quantum computers that can just hack and steal everybody's thing, and I'm just like, I mean, that's something that Mike knows quite a bit about, and we've been studying about that a little bit, and we haven't found much on that. And I mean, if that's the case, I mean, I don't.
Hay and milk cow.
I don't know that there's much we can do about it.
Hay and a milk cow.
I mean, if they're drawing information from realities that are different than this one, that's hard for me to even comprehend. And I mean, that's supposedly what these quantum computers can do. So
Yeah, I have no idea. That's completely out of my realm.
yeah, I mean, I'm hoping.
Like and share is all I know. Like and share.
So
Try to spread the news, and let's get this Republican Party back on track, and You know, there's a bunch of you I know out there that have been a little bit disheartened, and I'm one of you. But let's not fold up. Let's stand up.
Well, and the whole thing is probably what we need to do is take it amongst ourselves, kind of create a group amongst us, and either, I mean, really what we need to do is gear up and show up to the caucuses in 26, and that's where we can actually show up and our vote makes a difference. So, with that being said, folks, wish you all a great evening. See you next week.
Night.